Hi everyone, this is Maria Hocking, the UK Life Changer, here with Happiness H.I.T episode 5, designed to bring you hope and inspiration with a view to transformation. Now, this is super exciting today because we have got a high energy video for you, because today we have Harriet Bratt joining us. Now, Harriet Bratt is an inspirational speaker, trainer and warrior. So Harriet, over to you. Welcome.
Hello. So amazing to be with you here. And of course, first and foremost, before we jump into anything, I really just want to take the opportunity to say thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of this. But also, Maria, I have to share that Maria is the reason I fell into this path. She is the first physical person that I went and spoke to about mindset, about training, about becoming a coach, about becoming a speaker. And it was absolutely her radiant energy, total belief in me, and passing on information, knowledge, skills, strategies that I could go away and use straight away, instantly, on the first time that we met. And we've been great friends ever since. Every time we have any conversation, I learn, I'm inspired by you. And I just want to say thank you so much, because this journey now really stemmed from that conversation in Tesco's a few years ago when I first met you. So really, thank you.
Thank you, Harriet. And, just for those that are watching, me and Harriet, we met in Costa Coffee in Tesco's, didn't we? I don't know how many years ago. And I think when we first met, the energy, it was just amazing. And boom, it was a really amazing, powerful conversation. And you've gone a long way, Harriet. Absolutely amazing to kind of witness and be part of, I guess. And so, you've learned so much. You help so many people. I know that you inspire like thousands and thousands of people. So today I'm going to explore your brain and pick out, the knowledge from there to help other people. So
be careful, you don't know what's in there.
Yeah, just keep some boxes locked, all right?
Why?
Okay, so my first question to you is the question that I ask everybody with the Happiness Hits, and that is, what do you believe about happiness?
What do I believe about happiness? I believe it is an emotion that lies inside of our human body. And I believe everybody carries that emotion. We all have that ability of happiness inside of us. But I do believe, especially dependent on age, dependent on experience, depending on the sort of life that you're living, what your mindset or awareness level might be, in this stage, at this stage today, I would say that happiness is a choice. So I'm very aware it's an emotion inside of our minds, but to live a happy life, I think it's the choice to choose a happy perspective that allows a happy emotion that provides happiness.
That's a great description. That's probably how I would have described it myself. That was amazing. And so for people then watching this, and there's a lot of personal challenge around at the moment, there's a lot of adversity with the pandemic, there's a lot of stuff going wrong for a lot of people. And some people might be thinking right now that, what I've got left is all that there is, and there's no chance of me ever being happy again. What would you say to those people?
Read Maria's book. That's what I'd say. No, okay. So I just, if it's okay, want to share a really quick personal story that I think goes hand in hand with this. And of course, take a moment to send love to everybody, because there's so many people that are experiencing challenge, adversity, shift, for many different reasons, but one, of course, that so many relate to is COVID at the moment. And I'm actually going to steal something from Maria's book. She says adversity, let me paraphrase, I'm not sure of the exact anagram you said, but it's a deep and valuable experience revealing the strength of the true you, something to that effect. And I believe that's what we have the opportunity to do right now. And for a lot of people, that sounds crazy. Opportunity, we should be locking down and really not taking any risk right now and worrying about that savings and how we're going to survive. But actually, I always find it interesting that the Chinese word for crisis is the same as opportunity. What if this was that chance to reconnect inside of yourself, to understand what truly makes you happy, to understand what are your priorities, to see what are the different ideas, solutions, and ways that you can adapt and flex through this situation. And I'm not trying to pretend, oh, every day you can feel amazing and happy and wonderful through this scenario. No. I said it earlier, happiness is an emotion, so is anger, stress, pain, sad. All of it are emotions that we are absolutely going to experience. But it's what perspective you choose to apply in that moment. Do you see crisis, or do you see, challenge? What can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? And weirdly enough, at the beginning of this year, I experienced a challenge that most people experience through COVID, of losing a business and a business partnership. And it was something that I had given years to. I say years, 2 to 3 years. In a lifetime, that's not a massive amount, but 2 to 3 years of my life. I moved away from my husband for nearly a year to study, to learn, to dedicate my energy and effort. And I climbed up through from team to lead trainer, and I became a business partner. And at that moment in time, I was flying. People say about happiness coming from within. Absolutely, 100%. It comes from inside you. There is nothing material that you can have that will create happiness within. However, at that time, not only did I have happiness and gratitude within, also my external goals were showing up. That external dream, whoever is listening to this, whatever it is that you want to do, apply yourself and go for it, and use this time to learn how to grow in that field. And that's exactly what I did. So anyway, I applied all this energy, all this time, all this effort, and really grew. And everything was beautiful. We were traveling, speaking in India, Asia, Bali, all of these countries, and really, truly impacting, inspiring, serving, living my mission, my passion, doing exactly what the amazing Maria, UK life changer, is also doing. We've got a very, very similar mission. So it was happening and it was unfolding, and I was on top of the world. And then, boom. Just like that moment, just like that announcement of COVID, just like that announcement of lockdown, that moment of, like, what am I going to do? Where do I even start? I've lost everything. The last 2 to 3 years were a waste. I've lost no. And then, like you teach, like you and I have had so many conversations about, it was about really living what it is that we share, what it is that we teach. And that doesn't mean we don't go through the emotion, but we choose our response. And that's what I would say to everybody at COVID at the moment. Choose your response. You cannot always control what is happening to you, but you can always choose your response. So choose the opportunity to develop yourself, to develop your passions, to develop your connections and relationships. Get creative. I know we can't physically connect, but get creative about what it is that you're doing. So quite a long answer, but
that's a great answer.
Value to the listeners.
Something I'd like to pick up on there is, very often you talk about the response, and absolutely we can control our response. But I know, and and everybody knows, that when we initially go through that adversity, or when something happens that we least expect, maybe we've lost a business, maybe we've lost a partner, maybe we've got divorced, maybe even bereaved, all that sort of stuff. And basically, we have a choice how to respond to that. But I think, if you might agree with me here, that we all go to that negative place to start with, but that does not mean that you cannot change the response after that, if that makes sense. And we've talked a lot about this in the past, haven't we? And as coaches, stuff still happens to us. As speakers, stuff still happens to us. Absolutely. But it's how long we've got the tools, and we share the tools to teach people that when you're in those negative emotions, how to get out of them, if that makes sense. And we ourselves go into those negative emotions. We have bad days. We react in the wrong way. But, I think most people do that. They automatically go to the worst possible case scenario, or the worst possible thinking. But that does not mean, does it, that you have to stay there? It still means that you can change your response. Is that right? Would you agree with that?
100 million %. And I think something that really supported me in being able to see how I initially reacted and then start. And it's a practice. It's not something, you know, you listen to this video, it's the first time you ever heard it and bam, I'm going to choose my response. No, it's like if you want a fit, foxy and fabulous body, you go to the gym and you train, you have a balanced lifestyle and diet. It's exactly the same with your mind. So it takes time to build that ability to choose your response and to, as you were saying, to bring down that recovery period so that you feel it, but you work through it and choose your response. But I want everybody to know that that first feeling, like Maria says, it's natural. Celebrate it. You're human. Your brain is designed to protect you. You're the first element and fundamental
reaction.
No, what's the word I'm looking for of your brain that it does, you know, function. The word. The most important function or the most basic function of your brain is protection, survival. So when something happens that brings fear, natural reaction, bam, how do I keep myself safe? So it's so normal to experience it. But as you were saying, I've experienced it and now I can come out. How am I looking at it? How am I going to choose to respond and move through it?
Absolutely. And I think also what you're talking about there is, as you were giving the answers, we're talking about belief, aren't we? We can either believe when something really bad happens that it's the worst possible thing that's ever happened to us. And we all go there, like we were talking about, you know, we all naturally go there. Or given some time, and it doesn't have to be that long a time, we can choose to respond by thinking, actually, I didn't expect this to happen, but this could be the best thing that ever happened to me. And I think that when we believe both of those things, they're very different and they'll get us very different results. What are your thoughts on that?
I think I couldn't have said it better myself. I completely agree. And what's interesting is, you know, at the beginning of this year, I really saw that and experienced exactly that of the process of shifting through it and the change. Like you said, it's so easy. I think in some ways speakers and coaches get labeled with, well, you've got the tools, you should be able to go through it. And I don't know about you, but I experienced a period of time. I remember the beginning of 2019, I spent maybe 3 weeks on my sofa. No joke, but just self-pity, sadness, you know, gray. And if I'm really honest, I can't even remember what it was now. And it seems silly given 2020, but I remember that emotional state of just being in a self-pity party. And then practicing everything that's in this book, everything that Maria shares, I speak about, really committing to the path of doing the inner work to bring the external results, but most importantly, the internal happiness. Actually, at the beginning of this year, yes, I freaked out. Yes, I panicked. But actually, like Maria says, now, oh my goodness, I get to be with my husband every single day. The Warriors brand is growing so much. We have a Warrior Women membership and that tribe is just like my family. They're amazing and we're growing. That would never have happened if it wasn't for that previous experience. So all of these new opportunities, which actually are much more aligned with what's in my heart and the speaker journey that I would like to have and the impact I'd like to create, I wouldn't have had that if I'd stayed in that previous environment. So I'm so grateful for everything that happened. I'm grateful for what I learned, the people I met, the countries I went to. I'm really grateful that I learned what I don't want to do. And now I've got all of those lessons, which I see as blessings to be stronger and move forwards with. And everybody can do that. Even when you don't feel like it, just start off with believing it's possible. If these two crazy Cornish ladies can do it, you can absolutely do it too. But it just starts with, like you said earlier, that belief that it's possible.
Absolutely. And you know, I can imagine people watching this go right now, and some are probably going, yes, that's really good, and others might be going, but how can you just change what you believe, you know? And a belief is simply your perception, isn't it? It's how you make sense of the world. And we can choose to believe some things, we can choose to believe other things, you know, and we've all got different beliefs. But on this occasion, when things go wrong, we can actually choose to change our belief and see it as an opportunity. But if people are watching this right now and they're just thinking, okay, these two women are sat here saying, just change your belief, how the heck do I do that? What would be your advice to them?
I'd say get in the mental gym. I would say don't put any pressure on yourself. In fact, I would say don't even take our word for it. You don't need us to force you to believe it. It's something that you either choose to try or don't. And it's in the act of trying something for yourself where you will experience the result, and it is the result that will either stick your belief or allow you to open it and change it. So I would say that it's you that needs to do the work. But you know, Maria's putting out content all of the time. She's on YouTube, she's all over Facebook, she's got her books. There's so much content available. Myself, I've got loads of different platforms which I'm constantly sharing. There's so much information out there. Every single day in the morning, first thing in the morning, just read, listen to something that starts opening up your mind. Listen to someone that you resonate with. If you hear one person and you go, oh, what a load of nonsense, maybe you just don't resonate with the way that they're speaking. Go and look again. There's enough teachers, coaches, speakers out there to provide you stepping stones to allow you to open your belief, but you have to be willing to try.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always think that, you know, a great tip is to act as if you've got the new belief, act as if you own that new belief for like 24 hours, because you'll stand differently, you'll talk differently, you'll react differently. And then if you surround yourself, like you say as well, with all of that positive material, you know, there's podcasts, there's YouTube, isn't there? There's books, there's videos, there's all this stuff that we can watch and surround ourselves with. And you know, I know that you've done this in the past, and you probably still do, and me too, is we listen to podcasts in the car as we're driving. If you think about all the hours you spend driving in a year, and if you're listening to positive, inspirational, uplifting material, you know, you could be learning a lot, and it's just going in and in all the time. Absolutely. And I think it gets to the stage where you listen to so much of this stuff, it becomes part of who you are, and it becomes your natural reaction to react in a much better way. So and Harriet, what do you like? Do you like podcasts? Do you like music? What inspires you?
I'm a huge YouTube girl. I'm quite visual. Also being a speaker myself, I just naturally learn kind of the observation of that, what they're doing as well. So I'm very visual. So for me, it's absolutely a YouTube. However, like you say, for cars and even out walking the dogs, Audible, you know, you can get an Audible app, and there's so many different books that you can listen to. And it's just allowing, you know, even that in itself is changing your focus into listening to what they're saying. And it stops you focusing on the negativity or experiencing the anxiety, and allows your focus to shift into another space. And your thoughts naturally will start to affect your emotions, which affect your actions, which of course bring your results. So yeah, I completely agree with you. Listen.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to tap into something you said earlier on in the conversation as well, that you said that, you know, what you're doing now is what you really want to be doing. And we often talk about, you know, living by our values, don't we? And, you know, I firmly believe that we have to believe the right things. We have to be living by our values and doing what we love, following our passion in order to be happy. So how would you, I mean, if someone's watching this right now and they have no idea what their core values are, how would you explain it to them?
To reconnect with who you were at a time before you experienced mass conditioning or or pain, you know, circumstance, experience, something that's happened in your life.
Yeah. And how do people know what their values are? How do they find them out? What clues are there?
I think, if I'm being honest, no, I love this. I love this. And I bet, I don't know if you've spoken with Jake, is an expert to speak about values. And I don't think I am an expert to speak about values, and I just be transparent there, which is one of my values.
That's cool.
Because I went on a really huge journey with values and understanding, you know, everyone kept telling me to make this list, and then in my head it was like, well, if you're making a values list, does that mean like number 1, number 2, number 3, and therefore you prioritize that one the most? So it really took me a long time to understand what my personal values were, and even to the point where this year I've spent a lot of time reconnecting back within and understanding what for me is important within the life that I'm living and experiencing. So I think it's something, you know, there's that quote that there's no external guidance that will replace the guidance that you have within, and there's no avoiding it. You just have to go and take time, spend time with yourself, start looking at interactions you have, what you were like as a child, how you connected with people, what you look for in a job, in your work life, you know, what's important to you, and then start to really put the tangible word to that value, because it allows you to have clarity and drive whatever it is that you're doing.
Absolutely. And, and I think, core values, I think we get a feeling, don't we, when we're going the right way or we're going the wrong way. And
oh, yes.
And very often, I love what you said about mass conditioning. We are conditioned to live in a certain way. We believe we have to do a certain job. We believe that we have to work a certain amount of hours. We believe we have to work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. And all this is mass conditioning. And this mass and this mass conditioning can literally take us away from ourselves, can't it? It can
100%. And it does for so many.
Yeah. And I think and I'm a big fan of authenticity. I think we should be living as our authentic selves, living our authentic life. But if we start living our life by other people's values, by things we think we should be doing, instead of things we want to be doing, that's when we feel that resistance inside. And we can go years, can't we, feeling those feelings of dissatisfaction or unfulfillment. And we don't quite know what the reason is for that. But very often it's the result of mass conditioning. We're doing what we think we have to be doing instead of what we want to be doing. And so, if someone's watching this right now, I want to inspire people, and I know that you do, Harriet, to kind of like step out of that mass conditioning, to think, what am I believing that's keeping me stuck in this life right now?
Yeah.
And, if someone is thinking as they're listening to you here today, that I want to make a change in my life, I want to start living by my values, I want to be my authentic self, I want to do things that I love, just like you do. And if imagine that person's stuck in a job they really don't like right now, what do you think is the first step to kind of getting out of there and towards the life they really want?
I sometimes get in trouble for this answer.
Here we go. Do
it! I think, to be honest, the advice I would give is, and I'm not trying to avoid the question,
No.
The advice I would give is probably specific to the person.
Yeah, okay.
Because, for example, there are personalities that are just, they like to take action. They hear something, they're doing it before you've even finished saying it. Flat pack furniture, they don't read the instructions, they just start building. Those type of people, if you've got that drive and that ability to execute in spite of fear, then go for it. And I was ignorance on fire, and that's exactly what I did. I was in a job where I was so unfulfilled. I didn't feel valued. I was working 80 to 100 hours a week. I had no time with my then fiance, let alone friends and family. And I was just in a really low place. And one day I just went, no more. No, I'm not doing this. I'm out. And I saw a newspaper that had a network marketing advert in it. And I must have been their golden client. I rocked up. She started pitching to me. I was like, I don't care. I'm in. I'm in. And I just left my job, and the drive of needing that security and income, because as much as money isn't what drives happiness, money is our foundation and our security in this existence in today's world. Money, bills, utilities, etc. So I needed enough to have responsibility and have security, but also be able to figure out what was it that I wanted to do. So I didn't know, and I went for it anyway, knowing that I would go for it. So if you're of that nature and you're feeling very desperate, I think there's a lot of inspiration that comes from desperation. Go for it. But if you're somebody who likes to take their time, you get flat pack furniture and you read the instructions, you space the screws out, you space the planks of wood out, and you're more detailed in your approach, then I would recommend transitioning and taking that time outside of your work to start connecting, to start having conversations with inspirational and empowering individuals, to start understanding, well, what is it that I would like to do? Some people already know what it is they want to do with love. They're just too scared to take that step. And I understand it. I understand it. I'm not judging it. But as a speaker and seeing the journey of thousands of people around the world now, I just urge you, whether it's the shorter, more certain, the longer, more certain transition and path, or it's the I'm out, let's do it approach. It's whatever is right for you. And as long as you have the support, the guidance, and the energy to stay committed in that direction, then you will achieve what it is that you want.
I think that, they're great words, Harriet. I think that's really important, something you brought up there that doesn't come up in many talks like this, and the fact that everybody is different, and I know both me and you are big vision people. We get an idea and boom, we just go for it, don't we? But we're gone.
And sometimes that gets us in trouble.
It does. It actually does. So
but sometimes it brings amazing rewards.
It does, you know, and there's benefits to being both big vision and detailed, isn't there? And
absolutely.
I think sometimes if people are more detailed and they look at people like us who just go and make decisions, sometimes they struggle with that and they think, oh, I'm not that type of person, I can't do it like that. But actually, no, and they shouldn't, because that's not how they process information. They're more of a planner, they need a strategy. So, and like you say, it's okay to be either of those, and there are massive benefits to being both of those. So if you're watching this right now and you're a very detailed person, then, you know, make a plan, create a strategy, make a step-by-step process that you can use to like climb that ladder to get to where you want to be. So yeah, that's great, Harriet. Thank you for pointing that out, because that's really important, because I do think that can sort of like maybe intimidate a lot of people, you know, who see people just making decisions and just doing things. And and so with regards to sort of happiness, then what do you think is the biggest mistake that people make with regards to understanding happiness? That's a really big question, I know, but what do you think people assume sometimes about happiness that isn't correct?
Well, a lot came into my mind when you shared that then. I think just carrying on from our previous conversation, sort of, and extending it back to happiness, I think that's some people's problem, is the comparison.
Yeah.
You know, they say that curiosity killed the cat, but I wonder if it was comparison that killed the cat. That's not my line. I took it from Noor Hibbert, an amazing book called Just Can Do It. And I think comparison kills happiness for a lot of people. They see someone doing something and in a certain way, and they assume, oh, they're happy and they're doing it that way, so I need to do it that way. And that's not the truth. So I think one assumption is comparing yourself to other people and thinking you need to do that. No, find somebody who's done what you want to do in a way that you feel aligned with doing it. So I think that's one big thing. And I think the second thing, you know, I'm sure your other guests have spoken about this, but that thought of happiness being outside of ourselves, that car, that job, that check, that £1 million, whatever it is, it's not. No. They might amplify your life to some degree if those are things that you're interested in, but nothing external will ever bring you happiness. It's something you must create inside of yourself. So I think they're my two, and just to round it nicely with three, biggest assumption with happiness. I think bringing it to the mindset and the positive mindset, you know, it's that thought of happiness and living a happy life means, woohoo! I'm so happy in every single moment. No, ridiculous. No matter what your beliefs are, we're human. We're having a physical experience right now. So you are going to have all of those emotions. There's that beautiful story about the Persian king with the ring that says, this too shall pass. It's remembering that we're going to experience all of the emotions. Happiness is one of them that we'd love to stay in most of the time, but understand you will not be in it all the time. Create a baseline of contentment, of peace, of calm, and then allow the fluctuations, anger, rage, sadness, frustration, all of those. And then on the other side, happiness, excitement, surprise. They will all come in and out. So don't assume that living a happy life means I'm positive and super duper in every single second.
Absolutely.
Because anyone that pretends to be is lying.
Absolutely true. You know, you should see us when we're having bad days, honestly. You know, we all get angry, we all get sad, we all experience all of these emotions, but the key is, you know, we don't have to stay in them. And sort of to round this up, you know, we're all going through so much right now. Everybody's going through significant change, and everybody is experiencing the chance to take opportunities, to create opportunities. And just a final word from you, Harriet, about the whole, you know, I believe we can either wait for opportunities to come along, which isn't my preference, or we can create those opportunities. And I know so many people wait for the right job to be advertised, or they wait for the right thing to come up, or wait for somebody else to contact them. But I know you, like me, we are firm believers in creating our own opportunities. What are your thoughts on creating opportunities? You know, is that something you believe? Well, I know you believe in it, but what do you think that gets for people when they start to create their own opportunities?
I think 100%, you know, I agree. Yes. And even I think people create a real expectation on how they want something to unfold, and actually that's something else that can kill happiness.
Yes.
We create an expectation of how we want something to happen.
Mm.
I think, yes, launch that net, go for the one that you want 100%, but be open to the other routes, the other journeys, the other possibilities. You know, I had absolutely no idea that I'd move away from my husband for a year. And you can imagine that went with a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
We'd only been married a few years, and suddenly I'm shooting off to Lincoln. Everyone's like, oh my God, there's a problem with their marriage. What's wrong here? But you have to be sort of strong enough to make that choice for yourself and create the opportunities for yourself. And there are opportunities everywhere. It may not be what you wanted, what you first thought of or saw, but just allowing yourself to take action will lead to different opportunities, more opportunities. You know, we've got a lovely network in Cornwall now, Coaching Connection. And I think, you know, years ago it was like me and Maria sitting around having a coffee, and others that have done it longer than me. But I remember when it was just us two going for coffee and meeting up, and then it was like there's 3 of us, there's 4 of us, there's 5, and now there's a really beautiful little tribe. So, and you never know who you're going to meet. That came from me and you meeting for coffee one day, and me emailing about 50 people to meet for a drink. So I created that opportunity, and it's led to me and you being friends for years. It's led to this interview. It's led to me knowing other incredible people in Cornwall. And by the way, this lady hasn't just done amazing things for me. She's done it for the coaches that I've mentioned. She's done it for so many hundreds and thousands of people. It's allowing yourself to see that wherever there is a problem, there's so much opportunity, there's so much wonder. It's just which path are you going to choose in that moment. I went off a little bit there, but
I love it. I love it. I always love your energy and your passion. You know that. You know. So yeah, that's like amazing. Such wise words coming from you today. You know, and I'm sure they're going to help a lot of people. And you know, Harriet, sort of, I guess to finish off, if you could deliver one message to everybody watching this right now, given what the world is going through, what would that message be?
It's time to show up and shine.
Whoa, I love it. Absolutely.
I think,
show up.
just really quickly, if I may.
Yeah, there's no, you carry on.
Yeah, you know that my core and the biggest thing I speak about is inspiration, that confidence, that ability to unleash your warrior within. And for a very long time, that was what I spoke of, you know, unleash your warrior, take that time to do your inner work. And I mean warrior in sort of a modern day, lead with love, stand up for yourself, not about sort of fight, but fight for you, build that belief and that love of self. But it was really developed in 2020 to show up and shine. It's time to speak out. It's time to share your story. It's time to take responsibility. It's time to unite with like-minded individuals and grow. Utilize this time as a cleansing. As much as people will find that very difficult to hear, just allow yourself to be open to it. You don't have to believe it 100%. Disagree with me if you want to. That's totally cool. But maybe be open to the possibility that this is an opportunity to cleanse, to heal, and to grow together. Develop as me, rise as we. Show up and shine. If you're somebody that's stuck, speak out about being stuck. Show up and shine with exactly where you are right now. Ask for help, connect, get support. There's so much of it. And then if you're somebody like myself and Maria that has the tools, the knowledge, and the ability, show up and shine. The world needs you right now. Even if you don't have the same level of experience as we do, one Facebook Live with no speaking experience can save a life. So my message is show up and shine, speak your truth, take ownership of your life, build happiness from within, and live the fulfilled, beautiful life that you were meant to, and then allow that ripple to cast out and bring kindness, love, positivity to those that are around you as well.
Wow, that was inspiring. I want to go climb a mountain now or something. Seriously, it's like I'm trying to go change the world and climb a mountain. That was amazing.
Well, we're very, very passionate about what we do, aren't we?
So powerful. That honestly, that was so powerful. Whoa, that really hit me, but in a really good way. You know, I'm sure it's going to hit a lot of people watching this right now. And like you say, this is an opportunity. There is a gift within everything that we're going through right now. That gift is being handed to you on a plate, you know. You just got to look for that gift, find it, and then do something about it.
Absolutely.
You know? So Harriet, I mean, people might want to connect with you after this video. So where can they find you? Where can they connect with you? Give us some details.
I'm on most of the socials, as I hear the kids call them these days. Instagram, Facebook, Harriet Bratt Official. I'm on YouTube as well. We've got a free tribe, the Empowered Warriors Tribe on Facebook, where there's daily inspiration, videos, content, resources, and a tribe of like-minded individuals that are showing up and shining.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time, Harriet. It's been absolutely incredible. And we'll have to do this again. It's been absolutely amazing. So
I would love to so much. Thank you
have
so much for your time. Thank you to everybody watching. Do connect, do come ask your questions, and definitely interact and connect with this lady. I know she's going to have loads more amazing episodes. And even without her guests, she brings so much value, information, and content that you need to hear. So make sure that you are following Maria.
Thank you. Thank you. And I didn't pay Harriet to say that, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah. You said honesty with values. No, she didn't. She didn't. Really, really do. Go follow her. But thank you. And really, thank you again, Maria.
Okay. Cheers.